here at Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. And I have another familiar face here. I want to welcome Jeff Softly. How are you, bud?
Good to see you again, Randy. How you been?
And thanks for coming. So we're gonna tie up some loose ends on electrical, and then I'm going to talk about when we need or don't need permits in the city. Okay.
Good. Sounds good.
So one of the things is we talked before about when you remodel a kitchen or you do a bathroom, what's required, and let's just go over some of these points because it's really important. I had a customer call me today, Bonnie out there at the dog groomer, and she said she wanted to do her kitchen, and that some of the other contractors said they don't need a permit. I go, well, are you changing the lighting? You change the sink? Yeah, and I go, well, they may be misinformed, but I usually do get a permit. So when you get a permit, you have that extra set of eyes looking over you, which is good. It's in the customer's interest. I mean, I had
Absolutely.
an inspection the other day, and there was one or two things that the inspector caught, and I was very grateful that the city had very conscientious guys on the job. It wasn't earth-shaking, but we got it repaired and we're fixed and taken care of. So we like to do things right, don't we, Jeff?
Absolutely.
Okay. So in order to do that, especially if we have guys on the job, we get out to all our jobs, but sometimes something gets overlooked. We want to have that extra set of eyes. So the city and the county inspectors do that for us. And the code has been written for the most part. Now, even the guys in this various municipalities will disagree with some of the things, like certain things that I know your wife likes, which is the green code that came down, because that's
Right.
kind of being shoved down our throat through the legislation rather than through the building groups. But anyway, for the most part, what they're doing is just enforcing the laws that are put on the books that will protect our safety and a little bit more to protect us that, instead of just letting our earth go to shambles here and we consume all this energy and waste it. I mean, that's why solar is so popular.
Right, right.
So they have some requirements, and that is the lighting in particular, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's a couple ways. Let's talk about the kitchen, Jeff.
Well, kitchen lighting, is an important factor in your house. We need really good lighting inside of a kitchen,
So you don't cut your fingers off.
Right, and kitchen is typically an area where, on the average, that's where you have your lights on probably the most of any part of the house. So if you're using a lot of, electricity with your kitchen lighting, what they've done is with Title 24, they want to, they understand that that's a lot of light use being used. So they've instituted, laws and regulations where they want to try to save energy. So, you want to have high efficacy and low efficacy lighting inside of a kitchen. You can do, like we were talking about, 50% high efficacy, which means it's a fluorescent or LED.
Correct.
Incandescent's not going to work anymore inside kitchens. You can have a small portion of it, but
50% is not a lot.
No.
Because let's explain this to the people out there. Typically in a kitchen, I'll put in 6 to 8 LEDs or compact fluorescents. Is that
Right.
correct? And most of the jobs we've been doing?
Yeah, depending on,
Yeah, I mean, the little ones we may get away with 4.
Yeah.
But for the proper lighting, and then each one, the compact fluorescents are what, 23 watts each?
That's your higher end. You can get some down to 13 watts on them.
Okay.
But a kitchen, like I said, you want to have good lighting inside of a kitchen. So you want to go with
All
a
right, so
higher.
let's say we go with the higher one. We have the 23, and we have 6 of those. That's 120, 132 watts, as opposed to 2 bulbs, 2 65-watt bulbs that would be 130 watts.
Right.
So you're getting much more, what?
Savings.
Yeah.
Energy savings. Exactly.
So there's quite a bit of savings. So besides saving energy, you're actually paying less money on your electricity bill.
Mm-hmm.
And those of you that pay attention to your electricity bill, you'll note that as you go into a higher tier, thank you, then what happens?
They charge you more money.
More money. I mean,
Exactly.
a lot more money.
And that tier is typically, unfortunately for the average consumer, residential consumer, is the time of the day when most people get home from work. They've structured it so that
They
higher
ding us.
tier, that higher tier is when you're home. You know, so you have to be really cognizant about your energy use. You know, and energy prices are going to go up. They're not coming down for anybody.
No.
So the sooner that people get on the bandwagon and start putting in CFLs or LEDs, which is what I really prefer, because they're much more energy efficient than fluorescents are.
And the LEDs are, if I'm not mistaken, how many watts? That was like 7?
6 to 9 watts.
6 to
Yeah.
9 watts. Is
Yeah.
that something?
And that you're getting 65 watts of luminosity, out of a 9
So
watt.
it's the same, yeah, you get a 9 watt, you get the
Yeah.
same size bulb. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break and we'll get back to this important information about lighting in a kitchen. This is Santa Clarita's Hometown Station, AM 1220, KHTS.